Texas Dems surge ahead. Tariffs devour your refund. Comey indicted over seashells. The UAE is bolting OPEC. Trump's scowl hits your passport. And the billionaire who gutted Maine bankrolls Susan Collins. Good day. This is the Commonwealth Report, news for the public, not the powerful. You can sign up at commonwealthreport.news. Can Texas Democrats finally break the Republican stranglehold? A new poll out this morning is rocking Texas politics. Democratic State Representative James Tallarico is leading both his Republican opponents in the U.S. Senate race, both of them. Tallarico's up 3 points on Senator John Cornyn, 44-41. He's up 5 points on the indicted Attorney General Ken Paxton at 46-41. The Texas Public Opinion Research poll surveyed more than 1,000 likely general election voters. Tallarico's pulling huge margins with black voters, Latino voters, and independents. Independents broke for the Austin Democrat by more than 20 points in both matchups. No Democrat has won statewide in Texas since 1994. But with Trump's approval rating cratering and Latino voters fed up with the economy and the immigration raids, Texas could finally be in play. If Tallarico wins, the Senate map flips. Working people get a fighting chance. Did Trump's tariffs just eat your tax refund alive? Two conservative economists just torched the White House's biggest economic talking point. Phil Gramm, yeah, that guy, and Michael Solon wrote in the Wall Street Journal that Trump's tax cuts are a myth. Yes, taxpayers got back about $188 billion in reduced tax liability last year from Trump's so-called One Big Beautiful Bill, but Trump's tariffs collected $195 billion over the same stretch, and those costs got passed almost entirely on to American consumers. The Bureau of Labor Statistics confirmed import prices did not drop. Foreign companies are not eating the tariffs. You are. And the Congressional Budget Office projects 2026, this year, will be even worse. Tariffs will hit $331 billion. Tax cuts only save you $230 billion. Most of that's going to billionaires, by the way. That's a net tax hike on working families paying for tax breaks for billionaires. Even Republican economists are admitting it. The richest people in America are getting a windfall while you pay more for groceries, cars, and clothes. And gas. Why is Trump's DOJ indicting James Comey over a beach photo? The Trump Justice Department indicted former FBI Director James Comey for the second time in less than a year. The charge this time? An Instagram post. Comey shared a picture of seashells on a beach arranged to read 8647. His caption read, "Cool shell formation on my beach walk." Trump and his people called it a threat against the president. A federal grand jury in North Carolina handed down the indictment on Tuesday. Remember, Comey's first indictment got tossed by a federal judge who ruled that the prosecutor was unlawfully appointed. Trump fired Attorney General Pam Bondi earlier this month for not prosecuting his enemies fast enough. Now acting Attorney General Todd Blanche, who very much wants this job permanently, is doing what Bondi wouldn't. This is what Banana Republic justice looks like. The President of the United States is using federal prosecutors, paid for with your and my tax dollars, to punish people who merely criticize him. If he can do it to Comey over a photo of seashells, he can do it to anyone, including you. The UAE walks out on OPEC and hands Trump a win. United Arab Emirates is quitting OPEC, effective Friday, May 1st. After nearly 60 years of membership, the UAE announced it's leaving the oil cartel and OPEC Plus, a second cartel, along with it. This is a body blow to Saudi Arabia and to OPEC's grip on global oil prices. The UAE has been pushing for higher production quotas for years. Saudi Arabia kept saying no. Now the UAE wants to nearly double its output, jumping from 3.2 million barrels a day to potentially 5 million. Trump has spent years accusing OPEC of, his words, ripping off the world. He explicitly tied U.S. military protection of Gulf states to oil prices. The UAE walking out gives Trump the leverage he's been demanding. The decision came just days after Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent, billionaire himself, backed an emergency dollar swap line for Abu Dhabi. More oil on the market eventually means lower prices at the pump. Whether American consumers will actually see any relief, though, depends on whether Trump's tariff war keeps driving everything else higher and whether or not the billionaires who run the oil industry in the United States want to keep screwing American consumers and drivers. Trump slaps his scowling face on your passport. Not making this up. The State Department is finalizing plans to put Donald Trump's scowling face on the inside cover of U.S. passports. The Bulwark obtained the images. Trump's second inaugural portrait, superimposed over the Declaration of Independence, with his signature in gold. No sitting president's face has ever appeared on a modern American passport. No foreign passport features any sitting head of state. Never been done before. A Georgetown University professor of passport history called the move, his word, wacky. I would call it tacky in the extreme. The State Department's planning a limited run of 25,000 of these so-called Trump passports. And it doesn't stop there. His face is going on a new dollar coin, too, on national park passes, on Trump RX prescription drug websites. He renamed the U.S. Institute of Peace and the Kennedy Center after himself. He created premium Trump card visas costing $5 million. This isn't patriotism. It's a personality cult. American democracy doesn't put dictators on its money, although Trump is working hard to change that. The billionaire who gutted Maine now funds Susan Collins. Dropsite News just exposed how rotten our politics has become. A new super PAC called Pine Tree Results is running attack ads in Maine against Democratic Senate candidate Graham Plattner. One of its biggest funders is Mark Rowan, the billionaire CEO of Apollo Global Management. From 2006 to 2020, Apollo ran two of Maine's largest paper mills into the ground. The Buckport mill closed in 2014, right before Christmas, wiping out 570 jobs. The Andros-Coggin mill in Jay closed in 2023, eliminating at least 230 jobs. Total jobs destroyed? More than 1,000. Apollo extracted $273 million while bankrupting these companies, looting their assets and walking away rich. Now Rowan's using that money to write checks to keep Susan Collins in office. Collins, who voted to advance Trump's tax bill packed with private equity giveaways, just for people like him. Collins, who killed her own bill to close the carried interest loophole, which he takes advantage of, presumably. Collins, the largest Senate recipient of private equity money in the last cycle. This is who Wall Street bought. And this is who is working against, this is who working Mainers are fighting against. And that's the way it is today, Tuesday, April 28th, 2026. I'm Thom Hartmann. And just a quick note about the cat. People have been asking me, what's the deal with the cat? Wolfie he was kind of a rescue cat that Louise picked up years ago, and you couldn't go near him. He was part wild, and he was just ferocious. But now he's an old cat. He's 17 or 18. He's arthritic, and the other cats don't treat him well, and so he's living in my office now. So every now and then he's turned into a cat in his old age, and every now and then he jumps up on my lap and says, "Hey, pet me." So if you see the cat, that's Wolfie. And like I said, he's an old guy. I'm not sure how much longer he'll be with us, but he lives with me. Have a great day.